Have you ever felt it? A stillness behind your thoughts, a quiet witness deep in the shadows of your awareness, not speaking, not judging, just being. Maybe it appeared in a moment of heartbreak, or under a canopy of stars, or when time seemed to freeze in awe. It wasn't a thought, it wasn't emotion, it was presence, pure and inexplicable. That is consciousness. Not the brain's chatter, not the pulse of logic, but the light behind the lens. Welcome to Beyond the Known Lens, where we do not explain reality, we feel it, we question it, we walk toward it, eyes wide and soul open. And today we venture into a question that echoes through ancient caves and modern labs alike. What is consciousness? We live in an age of diagnostics. Scan the brain, label the thought, dissect the feeling. But here's the paradox. If you can observe your thoughts, then who is doing the observing? If your fear rises and something whispers, "Calm down," what is that something? Could it be that your brain is not the author of you, but the stage on which you play? What if the brain is just a beautifully intricate receiver and the signal, the true you, comes from somewhere that can't be dissected? Maybe you're not made of thoughts. Maybe you are the sky they pass through. Neuroscience, for all its wonder, still stumbles here. How does a pound of gray tissue make you weep at a song? Shiver from a memory? Fall to your knees in wonder? The answer? It doesn't know. This is the hard problem of consciousness. The idea that experience, subjective, vivid, and raw, cannot be reduced to wires and impulses. You are not just data, you are poetry in motion. So perhaps the brain doesn't create the soul. Perhaps it is the lamp, and consciousness, the light. Long before EEG scans and neural maps, humans stared into firelight and asked the same question. What is this thing within me? India called it Atman, the eternal self, untouched by death. China saw Shen, the soul light, pulsing behind the brow. The Egyptians sent their Ba soaring at night, the bird soul returning to the dreaming body. In temples, forests, deserts, one of them agreed on the name, but they all agreed it was real. Maybe they weren't wrong. Maybe they just described what modern science forgot to see. The invisible is not imaginary. It is simply not yet measured. You close your eyes. Thoughts race. Memories claw, regrets echo, and then a pause, a breath, a moment of nothingness, and something remains, still, watching, ever present. That is the witness. It is not your thoughts. It is not your voice. It is that which hears the voice. In the chaos of life, it is your secret anchor. You're taught that time is a ruler. Tick-tock, forward motion. But consciousness laughs at time. In dreams, you live a lifetime in seconds. In silence, an hour feels like a blink. In grief, a second becomes a year. Modern physics now says, time may not be linear. It may not be real at all. So what if your awareness isn't bound by clocks or calendars? What if your soul exists in the gaps, in the echoes, in the eternal now? Quantum physics tells us two entangled particles react to each other, even across the universe. What if our minds are the same? Jung saw the collective unconscious, a shared river of symbols, dreams, fears. Mystics called it the one mind. Maybe your thoughts aren't entirely yours. Maybe we are notes in a grander cosmic chord. You are not alone. You are the ocean, forgetting you are water. For all its brilliance, science stops here. It cannot measure the soul. It cannot define the moment you feel. It cannot track the lightness of awe or the silence of inner knowing. But rather than reject mystery, it's time we embrace it. Not anti-science, just beyond it. Maybe consciousness is not an object to be found, but the lens through which all things are seen. In a world obsessed with metrics, followers, income, productivity, we've lost something sacred. Stillness, presence, being. You are not your resume. You are not your online profile. You are not even your thoughts. You are the stillness beneath them all. The quiet witness, the eternal spark. You are consciousness itself. And when you remember that, even for a moment, you come home. So now I ask you, what if the treasure you've been seeking isn't hidden in a book or buried in the cosmos, but folded within your breath? What if the most radical discovery is remembering what you've always been? This is your invitation to pause, to turn inward, to listen. Because when you unlock your consciousness, you don't just find answers, you find yourself. Have you ever felt like something inside you knows more than your thoughts? Share your story in the comments. Subscribe to Beyond the Known Lens, where we explore what lies beneath the noise and decode the invisible forces shaping your reality. Because the final frontier isn't out there, it's in you.